everybody got a deuce.
What?
Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And I came in today to talk about a couple of celebrities that are going through things just like we do. You know, a lot of times we think their lives are so privileged because they have all that money. But then when things start coming out about them, you realize that they have the same everyday problems that we do. Well, I want to talk about Janet Jackson. I read today that her child that she had with, her husband was, I guess, over the husband's house. I guess it was time for him to have his visit with the child. So the baby was with the husband, and the nanny that the husband employs was there, and she noticed some behavior with Janet Jackson's husband that alarmed her. He was being erratic and a lot of stuff was going on, and she just felt like she needed to call Janet and let her know that something was not right with him. So the nanny calls Janet, and what Janet does is, instead of her going over there, she sent the police to the house to do a well check on her baby. Apparently he was acting so, weird and stuff that they thought he might be on some type of drugs. That's how bad it was. But when the police got there, I guess they, he consented to a search or something, and it said that they didn't find anything, and he didn't appear to be on something when they got there. Y'all, when stuff like this happens with celebrities, like I say, it makes us realize that they have the same problems that we do. What I picture happening is, after that nanny called Janet, it seems like they are estranged. She eventually left him, started going on tour, got herself back in the game, and seems to be doing her own thing. But I guess the husband has visitation rights for the baby. And I guess Janet was at home, and when she got that call, she was scared. Her baby is only 1 year old, and she didn't know what to do. And it sounds like to me maybe they're not on good terms, because if they were, then she would have just jumped in her car and went over there for herself to make sure that everything was okay. The nanny told Janet that the ex-husband was displaying some aggressive behavior. So Janet, I guess, thought it was best that she not put herself in this situation and go over there, that she send the police. And the police did go there and check on the baby, and it seemed like everything was okay. But I can imagine, as a mother, that probably was terrifying, because nowadays you have a lot of people that are sneaking and doing drugs. People don't know. He could have been on some type of drug, but by the time the police got there, he was calmer. And they didn't mention whether they did any type of drug test on him. So y'all, it just amazed me that she had to go through this. So like I said, I think that for Janet and her husband, it might be a wrap, because I don't know any situation where, if things were good, the mother couldn't go over there and check on the baby herself. Janet must know something about her ex-husband or her husband that we don't know. Maybe when she was with him, he exhibited some of that behavior, and that's probably, maybe why she left him. I don't know. If you guys know anything about this situation, or if you heard about it, or even the reason why Janet, broke up with this guy. Now, I had heard a while ago that Janet only stayed with him for a certain amount of years because, this guy is some type of millionaire, billionaire. And if she stayed a certain amount of years, she got, a certain amount of money. And some of my subscribers were saying that, after that time was up, Janet was out just to get that money. Now, for some reason, I just don't believe that, because Janet came in the game with him with her own money, and Janet has grown up in privilege. So, you know, her brothers and her family they were already rich. They lived that life. So I don't think that Janet is the type of girl that, and I may be wrong, but would just get with a man, find out, you know, if just say the thing said, okay, if you stay 7 years, you get $80 million. I don't think that Janet is the type that would go into a marriage for that reason alone. I think she genuinely loved this guy, and maybe things just didn't work out and they went their separate ways. But this thing with the baby, that's a little alarming. You know, when you are calling to, you know, having to call the police to make sure your baby is okay. Let me know if y'all heard the story and if you know anything else about it. And does anybody know why Janet left that guy? If you do, leave it down in the comments, y'all. The next story, y'all, I want to talk about is Lil Scrappy from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I don't know if y'all heard that he was involved in a very serious accident over the weekend. Apparently what happened is him and his friend Casino Roulette had been at a strip club. There was an after party there, and they had stayed to pretty late, and they were driving home. Now Scrap says he believes that his friend fell asleep at the wheel. What happened is they hit a pole and totaled the car, and he posted some pictures of himself in the hospital. He says that he doesn't know how he got there. They say that when the police arrived on the scene, that Scrappy and the Casino Roulette were outside the car. They were incoherent. They couldn't explain what happened. You know, they were in shock. I guess they didn't cite them for anything like driving while intoxicated. They didn't mention any drugs. I believe that what happened is probably they were, you know, had fun at the club, stayed out really late, and the guy was just tired and he fell asleep at the wheel. Now, this accident was very serious, and you know, Scrappy is married to Bambi now, and she's pregnant, and he thanked God for just being alive, you know, because he said that the car was totaled so bad he can't even show pictures of it. That's how bad it was. So when you have something like that happen to you, it makes you pause for a moment and look up to the sky and thank God that you made it out of it. And I think that's what Lil Scrappy is trying to tell us. They said Bambi and Mama D, you know, rushed to the hospital. Bambi's mom was there, you know, just to make sure he's okay. Casino Roulette is also in the hospital with injuries and things. You know, the police said they believe that they were maybe just driving too fast for the road, or the conditions, you know, I guess that were, maybe the ground was wet or something. It doesn't seem like the police are, you know, questioning anything, which is good, because when you have something like this happen to you, like I said, this can be a shock, and it makes you pause for a moment and realize how little you are in this world, and how you could be here one moment, everything going good, you just left a night of fun and end up in the hospital and in an accident that could have ended your life, you know. So this is, I hope for him, a speedy recovery. I hope he doesn't have any lasting effects from, you know, this accident. They say that, you know, he's resting comfortably, you know, he has been treated and all of that. But when I read it, you know how you're just like, wow, this is something else. And just the fact that, you know, I have watched Love and Hip Hop over the years, and, you know, saw this guy's, you know, saga on there, and kind of got to know Scrappy. So even though you don't know him in person, you wish that, you know, everything works out, and that you're grateful too that the news wasn't that he was dead or anything. You know, God gave them a second chance, and it seems like he realizes that. Let me know if y'all heard about this story and what you think about it. What do you think happened? Do you think maybe they had been drinking a little bit because, you know, they were out having fun, and maybe the guy nodded out for a second, you know, because sometimes when it's the end of the night, you've been drinking, you're drowsy, and maybe he, like Scrappy said, fell asleep at the wheel. Let me know if you heard anything about the story. Leave it down in the comments. Y'all, thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it, and you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.